Hello everyone, I am Callum, I'm the author of Rosewood Abbey, and I'm really happy to be back on Openhearth Gaming for a playtest of a new mystery. Some mysteries start with just a pun, and that's the case for this one, Stuck in the Mountain with Ewes. It's a playtest for a mystery that's going to be included in Codex Delictorum. You can already access the draft of this mystery and a couple of others and more on itch.io, and the moment it's still $1, but I'm gonna raise the price to $5 once the text is complete. Anyway, that's my plug. Go check it out on itch.io. If you buy it now for $1, when it increases to $5 for you, you don't have to pay extra. You're gonna have the whole deal, including the finalized edited version. T, you put in the chat room a little sheep and a mountain. It looks a bit like poop. Just next to the back of this.
The scale is off, yes.
So, T, when you're not, could you introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, my name is T, she, her, and I've been with the Hearth for about a year and a month, I think. And I will say, I was telling a friend of mine that I was playing this game, and I would describe them as being sick with envy, because they're a huge Name of the Rose fan. So I'm gonna try and take their enthusiasm and double it.
Amazing. Going clockwise or counterclockwise. Jim.
Hey, yeah, I'm Jim Crocker. If you recognize my face or my voice, like outside of Openhearth, the context may be that I used to sell games at conventions, and I owned a game store for many years. So I've sold a whole lot of games that a whole lot of people are walking around, at least in the United States, carrying around with them. I played Callum. Was it actually in playtest that we played?
Yeah, it was a playtest with the Gauntlet then, and it's included in the core book of Rosewood Abbey. This full playtest.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's in there. That's our game that's in there. So there we go. So that's the other place where you may know my name from is from Callum's game. And when I realized that this slotted into my very esoteric and weird, like part-time library schedule, I jumped at the chance to play. And Callum and I have actually met because I was in London and we got together and we had lunch and it was lovely, and I'll actually be there again next month, so we should talk about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to ask. Amazing. And your one of your creation in game made it also officially in the game, was incorporated in one of the mysteries. You created Gwydion, the fair knight of
yes,
what's the place? Signer, who's now included in the third mystery.
Oh, that's neat.
All right, David. You're muted.
I am muted. There we go. Hey, folks. David S. He, him pronouns. I have been with this community for quite a few years now. Have not played this specific game before, but I've played a lot of Carved from Brindlewood stuff. I've run a lot of Carved from Brindlewood stuff. The setup for this game is really cool. I really dig. I don't know, like I haven't read Name of the Rose, but I used to really like those like Friar Cadfell mysteries from back in the day. So that's kind of my point of reference for this. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I didn't know Brother Cadfell before I started the development of this game, and then it's a TTRPG enthusiast friend who pointed out Brother Cadfell, and since I become a great fan of the books of Edith Pargeter. Interesting. It was written by a lady, but who wrote under a man's pen name. Actually went to Shrewsbury, to the cathedral where Edith Pargeter and Brother Cadfell are blessed with an actual stained glass window in the actual might not be a cathedral, might be a church. I apologize for the people of Shrewsbury. I don't remember the specific. It was absolutely lovely. And last but not least, Elizabeth.
Hello, my name's Elizabeth. I've played with everyone on the call except Calum, and I'm most excited to play with you. I've enjoyed your games. I own a copy of Rosewood Abbey through itch.io, and it reminds me of the adventures that Father Brown gets into, written by Chesterton. And
I need to check that one.
yeah, G.K. Chesterton, Father Brown, also a delightful BBC series. And I'm looking forward to playing very much. And I will also be in London in the near future, and perhaps another in-person game is in my future as well.
That sounds amazing. Let's make that happen. But in the meantime, we're going to start with the very quick process of creating characters. Jim, you're starting afresh with a new character, or are you bringing back I forgot the name of your character, and I just translated it in French, so I had it in front of me for several weeks.
All I remember about my character is that he made cheese, that was his thing, that you made cheese in little caves underneath the abbey when we played that time. But boy, beyond that, I don't think. Oh, and he had the brother who was the knight. That's right. That's so, I mean, like, I could do my best to reconstruct that if you'd like me to. But like, I don't think I have that. Unless you've got that character keeper kicking around somewhere. I don't.
No, I would.
Whatever from
yeah.
that kind of like whatever pre-pandemic era game that we played. I don't think I've got it anywhere either.
All right. Well, if you could find all your way to the character keeper, we're gonna proceed with the character creation, which is in typical Car from Brindlewood games. Is quite straightforward. So if you could each pick a little column and put your name in the player tab. Name for the character. Maybe you want to come up. Actually, there's a drop down, or you should be able to type if you want to pick something. So yeah, character creation, quite simple. You pick a name, you pick a moniker, which can be given to you sarcastically. Like you could be called the Tool, but actually you're rather short. The birthplace is the place you hail from, like Catfell of Shrewsbury, although Brother Catfell was not born in Shrewsbury. He's a proud Welsh. And last of those 5 steps, we've got the monastic purview, and for this one, we need to be a bit careful not to pick the same one. Right, it's nice to see that things are happening. Waldo, that's an interesting name, but where is Waldo? Berengar, I was just listening to something.
That just sets that up for everybody else to ask where I am. So yeah.
All right, Berengar. That reminds me of A Knight's Tale. Federico, Cuthbert, great. Margam, is that in Wales also? Margam. I really feel like I'm going to get
just Googled it. Yes.
All right. Okay. Elizabeth, where is Berengar going to be from?
I'm deciding. I'm looking at my choices.
All right, we've got Cuthbert, the Mary of Hereford. Sounds cool.
Are we allowed to go ahead and take monastic purview?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we can discuss it with one another. Iona, if I remember correctly, Iona is somewhere in Greece. Leicester?
It's Iona is Scotland.
Ah.
Yes, it's where the Irish monks fled to with the Book of Kells.
Well, I remember now. It's in one in the.
I've been to the Abbey. That's why I chose it.
Oh, wow! I'm jealous.
It's quite a magical, mystical place.
I remember now. It's one of the questions in my citizenship test, which I still need to pass. Thankfully, thanks to you, I will remember. Oh, blacksmith!
I'll always remember.
That's the first time we got a blacksmith. in all the sessions I run. An herbalist, classic, great. Can I hide the other column? I find them distracting. Oops.
And can we tweak our stats at all, or is that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
So you should
So-
increase one of them by 1.
And so it starts with that spread, and we increase one of them by 1.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, got it.
So
okay.
we got a weaver, herbalist, and baker. Perfect. Yes, and as Jim pointed out, you've got your 5 characteristics over there. You are supposed to increase the score of one of these by 1.
What's community do? I can kind of garner what the others do just looking at them there, but like, what's community?
Excellent question. So in the Brindlewood Bay, that 5th one would be, if I remember, what was it called?
Sensitivity.
Yeah, it's like your occult ability.
Sensitivity,
but yeah, sensitivity.
occult ability. All right. So if you will, in Brindlewood Bay, the thematic antagonist force that you are dealing with is this occult things, this conspiracy. In Rosewood Abbey, that ephemeral thing that you're dealing with is actually the behavior of the community. That includes the monks and the villagers. There's a tiny hamlet in the area. So community is for you whenever you engage with that community. That can be if you're trying to remember something about the community. It can be if you are making a speech, maybe a call to action to a certain number of people as opposed to a single person. So if it would be one-to-one, it would be presence, but if it's towards a group of people, that would be community. Or maybe if you're trying to recruit people in the village to come help you, I don't know, save a sheep that's fallen in a pit, you would use community as well. And it's -1 because as monks, actually you are a tiny bit disconnected by default from this community.
Gotcha.
All right, and the last step, I think things there, I don't know if they were there already, of people have made some choices. The friar moves.
I'm looking at mine, but feel free to keep going. Don't wait on my account.
All right. Some minor thing will be to mark 2 more questions for the end of sessions questions. And then the last thing we'll have to do, once you each pick your friar move, and all your friar moves should be different, we'll be ready for the final thing, which is the joy in small things, which got an equivalent in Brindlewood Bay, which is called, what is it called in Brindlewood Bay? It's little trinkets that your monks can have on their person at any time. And you can mark them in order to trigger a advantage on a roll. That doesn't mean the thing necessarily is destroyed, but that just means the effect, you cannot use it anymore. And also you can evoke those objects without triggering the advantage if you wish so, and in that case you just don't tick them. Is everybody? Yeah, no, still choices happening. So what we'll do next, once you got your friar move picked, is that I will invite you in turn to introduce your friar. Friar is what I use for the name of your player characters. And once you introduce yourself, each time we'll ask another player to create a joy in small thing object for you. Where is the joy in small thing spot in that character sheet? I don't see it.
Way at the bottom.
There they are. Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, I see them now. All right. Well, if there's anyone who's ready to introduce themselves, please go.
I'm still looking at moves.
I think I could go well enough. It's not going to be a super in-depth backstory, but just a few words about my personality, appearance,
Yeah.
and moves, is if that's adequate. Okay, fabulous. I am going to be playing Cuthbert the Merry of Hereford. The moniker the Merry is very sarcastic. Cuthbert is a rather dour, grim sort of individual with relatively little patience for the trifles of others. He is just endlessly frustrated by having entered religious life in the hopes that it might offer him some isolation from the world, and only to find that he is still embroiled in the same kinds of politics and gossip and community issues that you would see anywhere else. It's really not in some ways all that different from living out in the standard world. I am a baker, and I am perpetually covered in flour. I am a very flowery looking guy. It's always all over me, on the palms of my hands, on the front of my robe, because that's where I brush the flour off. But I'm a very disheveled, flowery looking fellow, which is why I took the move Saint Malo the Commoner. This move states that something about me causes nobles and elites not to take me too terribly seriously, and that's just the fact that I look like a disheveled servant who doesn't really know what he's doing. So that means that once per session, I can, by the looks of it, kind of search for clues or do the meddling monk move in a place occupied by rich, powerful people. Tell me if I need to change that, because I know this is kind of a different scenario than maybe we normally do. But the idea is that I always get a clue even on a miss, and if I do a hit, I get an extra clue on a 12+. I also get to do some extra stuff too. I picture my character's personalities being a little bit like Nero Wolfe, if people are familiar with the Nero Wolfe mysteries. If you're not, his whole shtick was that he never actually left his house. He would send his assistant out to collect evidence for him, and the assistant would bring the evidence and back, and Nero Wolfe would solve the mystery while tending his orchids at his house. And if I had it my way, I would never actually leave my kitchen. I would just bake all the time and not have to talk to anyone, and yet here I am. So that's me.
We'll see how it goes. It made me realize that in this mystery, we don't have a lead per se, but I have a character in mind which, on one hand, is the complete opposite of being part of the elite. On the other hand, I will grant you the move with this character on ground. That I guess I will consider that character kind of a spiritual elite. It will be the hermit. You will find out. So, which is a bit counterintuitive, because an hermit is the opposite of a powerful individual and so on. But yeah, I think it can work. Saint Malo the Commoner, and then maybe we run into characters that I have not thought of ahead of the mystery. Great. I guess, T, would you have a little object to suggest for Cuthbert the Merry or Baker?
Yeah. A half-empty pot of last year's honey.
Half-empty pot of last year's honey. Great. Sticky, maybe potentially inflammable. The imagination is your limit, David, with that. All right. Well, moving on then. T, can you tell us about Federico?
Yeah. Federico the Swift of Markham is an herbalist, which is quite useful because he also has a medical background. I think I don't know if we're Franciscans, but trained at a Franciscan hospital, and now he's here. And I think very sort of jovial, pleasant man who asks a lot of slightly to the side questions. And I think it takes you a while of knowing him to realize that he does have a very kind of plotting, inevitable intelligence. If Cuthbert is our Nero Wolf, I think Federico is our Columbo, to pick another detective. I think also physically very large, maybe like around 6 foot and quite rotund, and not at all physically swift.
Great, everybody's going for the sarcastic approach to characters. I added your medicinal bag that comes from your Funfire move. You can use it ever many times you want. You never take it because it comes from your move. Elizabeth, could you what giant small thing, little object do you think Federico the Swift of Margam, the herbalist, could have on their person beside their medicinal bag?
I think Federico has a white cloth that either through the use of herbs or some kind of poultice ointment, it miraculously always stays white and sanitary. Even when it's applied to gashes or wounds or sores. But it's not magical.
Interesting. For a second, I thought it would be like with chloroform on it. I've been reading and watching too many Tintins lately. There's a lot of chloroform in Tintin. All right. Tell us about Berengar, the cabbage.
Yes, I'll be playing Berengar the Cabbage of Iona, who is a weaver. He's called the Cabbage because when he was small, he was round and had some pink on the outer cheeks, on the cabbages of his cheeks, and he was like a little bundle that people enjoyed holding and cooing at. But as he grew and grew, he's tall and more like the roots than the actual head of cabbage. And it was a name given with affection that he's outgrown, but somehow has stuck with him. As a weaver, he's most comfortable with his loom and also with the sheep, carding them to get the wool to create thread for weaving. And he weaves garments and blankets for his fellow brothers in the abbey and also the townspeople. And his move is St. Margaret the Pearl. He has a stylish ornament that impresses and distracts people. And it is because he's a weaver and he has a cloak, it's a brooch in the shape of a sprig of lily of the valley. And it's got tiny seed pearls from that were obtained from the shores of Iona, his home island. It's sentimental to him.
The brooch, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
The little flowers, the lilies are little tiny seed pearls.
Oh, nice. All right. Jim, would you have a second joy in small things to suggest for Berengar?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the Iona and the shore thing. That's got a fishing pole.
Ah, nice. Excellent. I love that. All right. And so next, Waldorf Leicester. It looks like one of those places. So the game is set in a remote monastery in the Italian Alps, but it feels like a bit like Marbella or one of those places in Spain with a lot of Britons that that went to retire. I wonder if he was sent out to Italy as a group after misbehaving
Well,
in
I
Great
guess
Britain.
I have a question then that, and how does this fall in relation to Crusade or Crusades? Like, where are we in terms of that?
Oh, I should know things. Can when so you we I mean you well, we could set it during the Crusade if we want.
Like,
The
because in like, I feel like I ended up here because I went, all the way to Christendom and came back and ended up here rather than returning back to Britain. Is what I had in mind for that. So if that is like, I hung up my my tabard and my and my whatever, my lance, and to become a monk, and that's why I'm a blacksmith monk, is because I was a blacksmith for a like a a band of Crusaders or some Templars or something like that.
Mhm.
And I decided I had enough of that, and I was going to devote my my skills to something a little less destructive, and that's how I've ended up here at the monastery.
All right. If we stick to the era when by default the game is set, but it could be changed. I guess you were part of the Fifth Crusade.
Yeah, sure.
The Fifth Crusade apparently was it was actually towards Spain, interestingly. So
And yeah, and like I, like you said, we don't need to worry too much about history panic and
Nah,
stuff
but
like
yeah.
that. But like I'm a I wasn't one of these people that became a monk like at 15. I think I'm probably older than some of the others, maybe.
All right.
And but I am called Waldo the Hammer because I'm the blacksmith. Like, I
Subtle.
don't have I'm well, but I'm not clever. I'm not, I'm not funny. I am diligent. That is what I am known for, right? I do my job, and every day you find me banging away at my forge. And so, I'm a whatever, like 5'6", but like my shoulders are 5 feet wide kind of thing, right? Like a fire plug, like my frame can be described as simian, right? From the way that I am built. But I am never very far from my most trusted companion, which is Barleycorn, my draft horse, who is
Oh wow. Okay.
my animal companion. So I took the St. Gertrude the Piper move, which is I have a pet animal with whom I share a very strong bond. It can do tricks and follow simple commands. It says, "Name my precious puss." It's not a puss, but and I'm going to add them into my joy in small things. When I use it to gain advantage on a roll, I leave it unmarked. And so there's Barleycorn the draft horse in my joy in small things. Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me. All right. David, would you have a second joy of small things to suggest to Waldo, the hammer?
Yeah, I've got an idea, but
is it a hammer?
No, it could be, but no. So, tell me if this sounds cool to you, Jim. You were in the Fifth Crusade, right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I just Googled it. That one took place, I think, kind of around Egypt, sort of like somewhere in that realm of the world, I think. Maybe sure. I'm not historically. But what if, and I'm going to check lines and veils just real quick. Okay. Yeah, tell me if this sounds good to you, but I like doing this thing in these games where I give people an object that is rumored to be cursed and they can't find anyone to get rid of it for them.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was thinking of maybe giving you like a cursed like astrolabe. that like a scholar in Egypt might have had that you brought back with you, and we're all kind of suspicious and superstitious, and maybe the rumor is that like any Christian who tries to read the stars with it will be driven mad, or some horrible misfortune will befall them, something like that.
There is no danger that I am ever going to use something like that. So I'm the perfect person to have that. So yes, yeah. I've added supposedly cursed astrolabe to my joy and small things.
I'm trying to think how to in the order. Okay, so David, you did Jim. I guess yeah, we'll go backwards. Jim, can you give a third joy in small thing for Cuthbert, the Mary of Hereford, or Baker, played by David?
Oh yeah, 100% a rolling pin.
Right, rolling pin, great, very useful. Then moving on to Elizabeth, could you give a third object to... I'm just messing up things in my head. To Waldo, Waldo, the Hammer of Leicester.
A preserved dried memorial wreath.
Great. T, could you give a third object for Berengar, the cabbage of Yona or Weaver? We already have a cloak brooch and a fishing pole.
I think a warping board that has carved grotesques on the end of the pegs, little faces.
Nice. David, could you give a joint small thing for Federico, the Swift of Margam, or Herbalist?
I'm gonna go with a harvesting knife for herbal use only.
All right. Do you want to do a last joy? Hang on. Berengar, you're missing. Oh no, maybe you're typing it right now. Yes. Okay. Brilliant. Do you want to do a fourth joy in small things, or do you want to leave it in game? Maybe come up with something.
I think that's plenty. We're basically playing a one shot, so like
Yeah.
if we do too many of them, we'll never be rolling without advantage. So yeah.
Yeah, but then the description would be flourishing with quirky objects.
Yeah. Some good, some bad. Yeah.
All right, let me transfer the camera to. Yeah, MS Teams is working all right, I find. All right. Does anyone got any questions?
Good on my end.
No. Okay. I do have a question. Still quite early, but do you want to take a quick break before we do the mystery proper, or do you want to do the introduction?
I'm okay with continuing, but yeah, it's all good. Whatever people feel like.
Yeah, like introduction, and then give us a couple minutes to kind of think about how our characters are gonna, approach it and stuff like that. That feels perfect to me.
All right, great. So, Stuck in the Mountain with Ewes. This mystery is recommended to seasoned player, seasoned as in with Carl from Brotherhood, which you all are, which is great. I also even heard some things about inspiration that I think will be helpful here, especially the not moving out of a place to investigate. So in this mystery, you are all the captives of a collapsed cave. And most of the investigation should be framed as flashbacks. So that's the only mystery in Rosewood Abbey that I ever written with that. So hence I prefer to always playtest my mysteries at least once, but this one being a bit different, I was keen to make sure it would work. Does that make sense to everyone? It's a bit of a Rashomon situation around the fire. All right, so if everybody is all right, let's start. You are all in complete darkness. And then you hear the repeated sound of flint hitting steel, which creates some sparks. And those sparks finally make some kindles catch fire. You distinguish an emaciated hand that reaches out of the darkness for one of those burning twigs before lighting a candle with it. And in the faint light of that candle, you see an old hermit dressed in sheepskins. He's surrounded by stone in a cave that's not quite enough for him to stand. And this hermit tells you, I only have 4 candles left. I know you're cold, but it would be ill-advised to light a fire as the cave's entrance has collapsed. The smoke would suffocate us and these poor creatures. And you knew, but people watching this or reading this realize that a couple of hungry sheep surround the old man and yourselves, and they look a bit sad, those sheep, and confused, perhaps upset and hungry, but the old man has nothing but a gentle petting to offer them. Paint the scene. So, Federico, we discovered a Fratres Herodoti huddled together in a corner of the cave, shivering miserably. What in your friar's composure, what in Federico's composure and garments, makes it explicit that you've been stuck in this cave for an uncomfortably long time?
Yeah, this pause is just me thinking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think Federico is usually... Oh, you know what it is? The tonsure is going out. You can see
wow.
A fuzz of hair. I don't know, 12 o'clock shadow because it's on the top of his head.
Oh wow, that's time's getting long. I got a second paint the scene question, which I'm gonna slightly answer. The second question is, what shows that getting out is urgent? I will ask that question to you, Jim. But if you don't mind, before you answer that question, I will say one of the things that might make it urgent for Waldo is that, don't worry, it will be there as part of the flashbacks. But apparently, Barleycorn was not trapped inside the cave with you, if that's okay for you.
Yeah. So I think the thing that makes it urgent is that we have no, like, in all of that description, you did not describe any way for us to get water, or any place where there is water. And we can go a while without food, and as long as we don't light those torches, we won't suffocate ourselves, but we're going to get thirsty very quickly if we can't figure something out about that.
All right. Does anyone want to add anything to that description? Or have any question?
So we're going off the light of one candle, right?
Well, you actually have, did I say one?
I think you said we have 4 left.
4 left. All right. Yeah. Well, that's a good introduction for the special rule, which follows the paint the scene. So you will investigate this mystery mostly through flashbacks. To trigger a flashback, you just have to agree on a location that you want to investigate and mention vaguely or long ago, before being trapped in the cave it was, ideally within the ongoing summer. So they decide that about these flashbacks. You have 4 candles at hand. Actually, I should have come up with something neat for the screen. So if you would play in person, you would have electric candles nowadays. In those days, we don't want to start a fire. But yeah, you long story short, you got 4 flashbacks, and at the end of each flashback, you blow a candle. Once you use your 4 flashbacks, you cannot trigger more of them. But investigating the cave where you are in the present day, between or after flashbacks, does not consume a candle. So you can still investigate the cave itself and the hermit's lair where you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Going on then. A voice, maybe 2. It's hard to tell with the reverberation against the wall of the cave. Is heard coming from the branching galleries connected to the hermit's lair where you are trapped. And those voice, you can just distinguishing, the hermit is right. Yes, none of these galleries lead outside. I bet someone made the entrance collapse. We were trapped, indeed. Elizabeth, what's the name of your character again? Berengar. Berengar, besides the well, actually, it's kind of a bit for everyone, but besides the hermit, who's our first suspect, so I'm going to add the hermit to our suspect list, the old hermit. Up. I got a suspect posted here. I'm going to add actually the name of the other suspects. Beside the hermit, which suspects are trapped alongside you in the cave? So the suspect we have is the old hermit, which is with you. We've got Bettina and Sepe, a shepherd and her dog. We've got Rosa, the goat herd. We got Dario, the ingenious butcher of Panzano, and got Luis, the punctilious lay brother of Galarza. Which one of these do you want trapped with you in that cave?
I'd like Lewis trapped with us.
Right. And that's it. All right. Cuthbert, the Mary of Hereford. Which suspect who's not trapped with you are you the most suspicious about? And of course, feel free to ask me questions about the suspects. I will tell you a bit more about them. So in the suspects which are not stuck with you, we've got the shepherd and a dog, Rosa the goat herd, and Dario the ingenious butcher.
What can you tell me about them just generally?
Yeah, sure. So Bettina, she's kind of she's a very muscular and tall person, but very mellow and daydreaming all the time. And she's a competent shepherd, and yeah, she takes a dogs everywhere. Rosa the goat herd, she's a young person, but she comes across as quite brash and aggressive. And Dario, the ingenious butcher, actually he moved in the village in the region a couple years ago. He's not part of the monastery. He joined the village from the outside and apparently moved there to. I mean, his work as a butcher is appreciated, but he also, medieval type of thing is part-time surgeon as well, and apparently he likes to experiment with stuff.
Okay. Probably him then.
All right. So with that done, anyone's got a question or something to add? No. All right. So the Fratres Herodoti, that's yourself. You're a group of monks who share a common interest for solving puzzles and riddles and reading together ancient texts or less ancient texts, whether they come from ancient Greece, ancient Rome, or maybe the Orient, as it's called then. You share this passion and often resolve riddles and investigate together. You are stuck in there, and with those companion of misfortune, that shepherd and that hermit. You and the sheep gather around the hermit's lone candle, and the shepherd is asking, how and why are we trapped here? All right, and with that, you are welcome to start investigating the hermit's lair, the cave, or to straight away trigger a flashback to one of the locations.
Do we maybe want to take our break now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
What are the locations again?
I will put the location in the mirror, so this way
Okay, cool.
you can have a look in between. The locations we have, so reminding you the concept, I said 4 candles, but I'm gonna this is a playtest, and immediately as I was reading that in the context of a playtest, I realized that there was a bit of an issue. Yeah, but there's 4 of you. Anyway, we're gonna keep the 4 candles. Long story short, in the final mystery, I think I'm gonna reduce it to 3 candles, but we've got the cave, which is the tunnels connecting to the place where, actually I'm going to reorder that. So you got the hermit's lair, which is where you are stuck right now. Connecting to that, which you can access, you got the rest of the cave, which are different galleries. Then outside of the cave, you got the contested pasture, and you got the butcher's shambles. So the contested pasture and the butcher's shambles, you need flashback to investigate them. The cave and the hermit's lair, you could still use a candle if you want on them, if you wanted to investigate them in the past rather than the present. Also, you can use a candle to go back a second time to a place you already investigated. And yeah, my realization is that since I only have 2 locations outside of the cave and those 4 candles, I surely probably need to reduce the candles to 3, and maybe I should add an extra location. So we've got 3 locations outside, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, since there's 4 players, I think each of you should have a candle, or at least lead a part of the investigation. But that's a lot of me talking. Does anyone want to investigate the hermit's lair or the cave in the present? Or second, does anyone want, as a suggestion, to trigger a flashback to a location in the past?
Are any of us hurt?
You can be. If you want, you can be. You don't have a condition, but if you want to describe yourself with an injury of sort, you are very welcome to do it. It will be in the fiction, but it won't impact the rules, especially investigations in the past, since it might be before you got hurt.
Yeah. I mean, if Frederico is hurt as the one with medical training, he would have to direct someone else to assist him.
Oh, okay.
Unless, David, I know you mentioned Nero Wolf as sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Inspiration for Cuthbert. Is Cuthbert hurt in a way that means that he needs to send other people on errands around the cave?
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So that sounds like that will be a nice scene, probably a bit later for a in horarium moment, which are the things used to clear conditions when you have an intimate moment between monks. So it sounds like in one of your flashbacks, you really will want to hurt yourself and win a condition that will affect you in the present, and then you will have an horarium moment with your fellow brothers as you guide them to heal the thing. But it's nice, you got an objective in the flashback. I mean, you can already describe yourself, I don't know, with a bandage around your head, bleeding or something, and but we don't know how it happened. We're gonna find out. It's a little challenge, creative challenge, to come up with a situation when you hurt yourself in that fashion, or maybe it just happened when the cave collapsed.
So I have a question, kind of. If we did a flashback, is it like a situation where we would kind of set the scene and we would say, okay, here's what's going on in the flashback? Or would I just say, I want to have a flashback involving the Butcher's Shambles, and you tell me the setup, and then I'll tell you what I do, and it kind of goes that way?
The second one, or at least that's what we're testing tonight, if it works. So I will have a paint the scene question, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, shared storytelling at the same time. But I do have a paint the scene question and a description of the place, which hopefully will inspire us about how you will proceed and what might have happened there.
Okay. I don't need to do this right now if other people have other scenes they'd like to call, but I've already said that I'm suspicious of this butcher, and if we have a location involving him, we could maybe do a flashback that might be part of the reason why I suspect him.
All right. Let's do that then. Location, the Butcher's Shambles. So this place is somewhere not quite in the village, definitely outside of the monastery. That's an opportunity for me to point out an important thing in Rosewood Abbey. So unlike Brindlewood Bay, Brindlewood Bay's day move and night move, which I assume you're all aware of. You all played that. Yeah, great. Night and day does not impact Rosewood Abbey. What impacts you is whether you are within the monastery. That would be the equivalent of your day move, because the monastery is safe, including at night, and you feel comfortable there. Or if you are outside of the monastery, that would be the equivalent of the night move, because the outside, when you are literally beyond the walls, things are not under control, you are a bit more likely to get hurt or be confronted by someone with an aggressive behavior of sort, or get in trouble in general. But the Butcher's Shambles sits definitely outside the monastery walls. It's not quite, it's at the edge of the village. The butcher actually refurbished over years a granary that sits on staddle stones near the contested pasture. So it's not far from it. So I don't know if you're familiar with this type of architecture, but these are, it's like picture a shed, but it's not on the ground directly. It's on little pillars. And the pillars at their base got a flat stone, which is especially designed so that rodents cannot climb up those pillars. So that's a typical granary shape in a lot of historical context. At the height of the monastery's construction, which is when the monastery was built, that's when you had the most people in the area, the most jobs. You have a lot of craft people, and that's what formed the base of the village. But once the monastery's construction was completed, a lot of those workers moved away because this location is quite remote. But that means that they left a number of buildings and structures behind that grew abandoned over time. But at the height of the monastery's construction, this former granary stored enough grains for all of its builder. Today, it's ideal for the butcher to cure meat and as a workshop for his experiment. The occasional slaughter, meat carving, or trades takes place outside of this granary, on the space in front of it, where he set up a little stall, just a table when need be. The butcher almost never allows anyone inside of the granary, which feeds a lot of speculations in the village. However, it appears to contain mostly ordinary. Well, I'll go to that bit later. So, since you triggered that, Cuthbert, why do you think, unlike most visitors, the butcher would invite you inside his workshop?
Because I am probably the person who would least like to leave the abbey and go see him. I'm kind of like a cat, or maybe he's like a cat. He's sort of attracted to people who don't want to be around him. So yeah, maybe he called upon me. And furthermore, I don't know. I imagine that I would solicit mutton or some kind of minced meat from him for use in pie making. So we would have kind of a natural sort of relationship that way too.
Did you want to have someone with you, or did you want this to be just the two of you doing a thing?
Everybody's welcome to jump in on this if there are others who want to. I don't know if Callum, that's kind of what you had in mind, but I'm more than happy to share space with people here.
It's fine, and also someone can come knocking at the door at some point at the scene if you want to jump in.
You strike me as someone. Your character, David, strikes me as someone who, if they knew someone with a horse that they could ride to this place instead of having to walk, that they might employ them for that.
Sure, yeah. So are you coming along and bringing your horse with you?
Yeah. I've got, we've hooked up a little cart to his back, and maybe we're gonna maybe I am we're doing double duty where maybe we're picking up some supplies for the abbey or something like that, and I have offered you a ride as well, so you don't have to get there under your own steam.
Awesome. Yeah, please come along.
All right. Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you said the butcher also does surgeon work, right?
Yes, yeah. Which can be a bit frowned upon by some people at the monastery, but you're welcome to, as the Fratres Herodity are more open-minded for this sort of things. You're welcome to not be as judgmental about this practice.
Yeah, I think as an actual doctor, Federico.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of professional rivalry. Maybe he set out with you, and at the pace that he is walking, he'll be there eventually. Don't worry about him. He's coming.
Oh, you're trying to seize this opportunity to check what's going on inside that chamber. Mm-hmm. All right. So you're greeted there by Dario, the ingenious butcher of Panzano. He's got a big mustache. He's a strong man. His hands and arms are scarred by bites, cuts, and burns from his work and experiment. And you remember it was very surprising a few years ago when this multi-talented butcher moved to such a poor and remote region, again, since the construction of the monastery ages ago. It's a very tiny and struggling village, really far off from commercial roads and so on. So it was frowned upon, this arrival, but villagers, they've grown very fond of the local meat curing and trading facilitated by Dario, the butcher. It's quite uncommon. I mean, people could do a bit here and there themselves. They got some craft, but having someone with the skills and amenities is a different deal. This proved a tasty and life-saving sustenance, actually, through a couple of winters already. Meanwhile, many monks frown upon, some of your colleagues, maybe yourself. They frown upon Darius acting as the self-proclaimed surgeon on a couple of occasions. Some even claim that he tempted with meat, which is prescribed by Saint Benedict's rule, some monks into lending him some tomes from the library. But he welcomes you. Curvebird, brother Curvebird, I am so happy that you accepted my invitation over here. I saw you brought one of your fellow brother. I don't think we've been introduced already.
Waldo. And like I do that thing where I, like put one of my great big meaty hands out for a handshake.
Great. Well, gives
and
you
we'll
back
do
your
that. We'll do that test each other's grip thing. Maybe hold the handshake for a second longer than if it was just a regular handshake, and just kind of we'll dip the chin to indicate, okay, all right.
I think there was a scene like that in what is it called? Full Metal Alchemist. The two strong men meeting,
sure.
and good handshake.
Yeah, and I just say to him, where are the goods for the Abbey?
Oh well, I set aside some good stuff for you, but come over. He invites you inside his little granary. You enter this place, and on first look, it seems to just contain ordinary stuff. And he set out a couple of pieces of meat, which were apparently carefully salted, so they don't spoil. They are laid on a sturdy workbench over there. So, told you, the good stuff. I'm glad that you accepted my offer to get some of these, Curvebird. What are your plans for those fine pieces of meat?
And I'm just going to leave Cuthbert to do the chit chat and just start grabbing it, boom, over the shoulder, carrying it out and I'll just be going back and forth while they're doing their conversation.
Loading them on a barleycorn. Great.
Well, in answering his question, I'll say, pies, mostly. There is a feast day soon at hand, and we'd best be getting ahead of it. Some of us are, quite the eaters.
Of course, that's for Calendo Maggio, which is a festival sometime in the summer. Am I messing up my season? But never mind. Oh yeah, of course. I was wondering why you would be making meat pies like that. I know it's not quite the thing for you and your fellow brothers, but yeah, typical. I've visited a couple abbeys and in my time, and I've noticed that monks do a fine trade crafting things to sell others, despite depriving them of consuming them in large amounts.
Right. Yes, it's sort of an unconventional sort of thing, but at least it keeps things pretty novel, shall we say. And I'll ask here, have I been in this granary before, or does he normally deliver the meat to wherever I'm making it, that kind of thing?
I would say that's the first time you go in, and maybe you heard of maybe someone that claimed to have sneaked in or have been invited, but it's been unproven. Again, people tend to gossip and make weird assumption about what is going on in here. But I'd say no, for you it's the first time, and it seems normal enough.
Okay. I think that I will, as I'm talking and making small talk, I will sort of look around and just sort of make myself at home in a way that conveys that I see nothing uncouth or unusual about what I'm doing. I'm just like openly walking through, like looking through his things. If he's got a book open, I'll sort of page through it and keep walking and talking until he tells me not to.
Great. I'm gonna give a chance to so Federico, another paint the scene question. What infamous event when the butcher performed as a surgeon do you so you're not there yet, but there are cut marks in the workbench that Cuthbert and Waldo did the trade, and cut those. If you were to see them, Federico, that would remind you of a infamous event when the butcher performed as a surgeon. What would be that infamous event, Federico? Or if Federico doesn't have an idea, it could be Berengar who's got something to suggest.
Yeah. I think that he took off the hand of someone that he claimed had gone septic. And Federico.
But I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, the sock puppet was too ornery. Had to get it out of here. No. Had gone septic. And Federico, in his professional opinion, it had not. Perhaps this is one of Federico's patients. And I'm going to say it was a carpenter who had slipped while chiseling something and had a deep wound that had gone through his hand.
All right, interesting. So I guess on the workbench, where if someone were to lie on the left hand, let's say, at just the right location, and maybe there's even a, how do you call that? Maybe there's some pieces of metal where you could put a leather stripe to attach someone. Just there, you see a rather conspicuous trace of a saw. So yeah, seeing that on the workbench reminds you of that tragic event. But I guess the lumberjack survived the operation, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I think the carpenter's still around, but obviously cannot work to the same capacity.
All right. I think, Waldo, as you do your back and forth between Barleycorn and the inside, you notice a child apparently crying on the side, and he's keeping an eye on you coming and going.
I kind of pause, sort of look at the child, kind of make eye contact with it, like with the kid, kind of, indicate that I see him there. And then I'll go over and I'll, kind of squat down on my haunches to get like, same height as the kid. And I will say, what is the source of your woe, little one?
They told me I should not name him, but I did. So it was fun giving him a little cute name. I called him Cutlet.
And Cutlet was a friend of yours?
But I shouldn't have. That's why I should not have named him. They said I would grow attached, but yeah, he was. And he stares at one of the pieces of meat that you laid on the side of barleycorn.
Okay. I'm as a player, I'm gonna let that, that's a little too close to the animal
Oh,
harm
sorry.
stuff for me. But
Okay,
but
fine.
as long as we don't get any more graphic than that, I'm just letting you know we're like right at where I'm comfortable with going with that. So not getting any, if we don't get any more explicit, then I'm okay. But so I and I kind of nod at the kid, and I say, and I put a great big hand very gently on the little kid's shoulder, and I say, did this one do that?
Yeah, but he bought the piece from my parents. So, and he was of age. So I mean, I knew, but yeah, yeah, uh, I'd be all right. It's just, yeah, I guess I would stop naming cattle and livestock. My parents were right. It's a bad idea.
I would like you to meet someone, I say to him. And I, hold out my hand so I can put the little hand into my great big hand. And I walk over to Barleycorn and I say, this is Barleycorn. Barleycorn will always be Barleycorn because Barleycorn is mine. If you wish to have a companion who you can give a name and give your heart to, you must know that it is yours, and you must be able to protect it and keep it from harm. Do you understand?
Yeah, it's barleycorn is gorgeous, and it's very nice and soft.
And so I take the kid and I hoist him up and I put him on Barleycorn's back. And I say, child, can you tell me any of the other stories that you've heard of what this one has done? How he got his name? And I'd like to, and if I can use that as an into, what's our basic, whatever.
Meddling monk?
Meddling monk. There we go. Yes, get our clues. Meddling monk move. Yeah, if I can use this to meddle, from the mouths of babes and all that, I would like to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you use barleycorn, but to be honest, I love this scene, so I would have granted an advantage, regardless. I would say presence would be fitting, but since it's quite emotional, I would say I will grant you to use composure instead.
Yeah, I think so. That I feel like that tracks. That's very reasonable.
To be honest, I like that scene that much that I'm gonna grant you a clue regardless, and you roll the roll, and that's what you'll get extra.
Excellent. So, do we have a dice roller set up for us, or
we don't, because I'm really disorganized.
That's okay. Let me just give me 2 seconds here. You would think.
Yeah, just gonna go show something of the future. Not that I organize anything yet, but I would really like to. I found these somewhere on the internet. I would really like to make them available to Rosewood Abbey fans.
Oh yeah, the wooden dice. Yeah,
they wood and Roman dice.
Yes,
and they're really cool. Nice to the feel when you play.
You would think as a guy that used to own a game store that I would have great big piles of dice around me, but I don't, because I always had them at the store. So, but I did manage to find. I've got 3 of my. I'm gonna roll my alien dice here.
Or because you were so good at selling stuff, you sold them all.
And we'll see what we got. So I'm rolling with advantage. So I'm gonna roll 3, keep the 2 highest, and add 1 for my composure. 3 and 2 is 5 plus 1. I rolled a 3, a 2, and a 1. So that actually only gets me to a 6. So I'm going to be, yeah.
A 6, which is a good opportunity to tell everyone about the prick of the thorn move.
Yeah, how the thorns work, yeah.
How the thorns work. So, yeah, I think it was called putting on a crown in Rosewood Bay. It works slightly differently, but it's the same principle in Rosewood Abbey. When you take the prick of a thorn, like on the frown of thorns of the big guy, or his Nepo baby at least, you can increase the success level of one of your roll by 1. Jim, you're familiar with it, so do you want me to continue with the description? Do you want to take the prick of a thorn?
Absolutely, yeah, I do. Yeah. I don't want.
All right. So, I just realized we didn't do the collaboration sheet. Oh well, I think we are on the same page anyway. Okay, where is it? It's a Providence move. That's why. So, prick of the thorn. After a die roll and after an outcome has been narrated, so so the outcome, actually I'm going to go and so on a 6, okay, that would be a counter reaction. For some reason, Barleycorn's gonna, what do you call that? Is it gonna rue and throw the kids off, which will be a very traumatizing situation. But thankfully, this is just a negative idea that flies through your head for a second. So after a die roll and after an outcome has been narrated, like I just did, the player can enact a prick of a thorn, marking a thorn of virtue or a thorn of sin, your choice, or circumstances guide the choice. Enacting this move increase the die result by 1 success tier, so it would become a 7-9. Interesting. When that happens, narrate a different result. Previous narration is taken as an ominous revelation that the group collectively experienced but didn't actually happen. So the first question is, Waldo, would you like it to be a thorn of virtue or a thorn of sins?
Let's start with virtue.
I think it's virtue applies because you were extremely nice and kind. So mark one of these virtues on your character sheet. So do you think it's a thorn of chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, or humility?
I mean, I think in this case, it's kindness applied to the kid. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the next opportunity, Waldo, you will answer one of those 2 questions at your choice. How does the virtue of kindness apply to someone you resent for indulging in it? Or how were you mistakenly praised for abiding by the virtue of kindness? So now you need, and we're going to do that a bit manually on the mirror board. Mark 1 virtuous rumor in the rumor mill tracker. I'm on the wrong mirror board. I'm gonna zoom out. Where is it? Okay, so to do so, I'm just gonna draw a little. Yeah, there you go. How do I fill that with? Yeah, okay, there we go. So we got our first in the tracker, which is also this. And Waldo, you need to get used to this new mirror configuration. So that's done. So think of that question, and when we have a moment later, you will give us a flashback within the flashback of this. But you need to designate another player, Waldo, that will transcribe a virtuous talk of the moment, which this player will narrate also again later at the most adequate moment. If I may, I would suggest Elizabeth, since Elizabeth is not in this.
That was going to be my thought, since she's not involved in the current scene in any way. We know T is going to come in, but yeah, I was going to suggest Elizabeth for that very reason.
What a pro.
If that's okay with you, Elizabeth.
Yep, that's fine. That's great. Right.
What am I trying to? Hang on. How do you do that? Just doing this. Oh. Okay, so Elizabeth, now the task you have at hand as people are playing on their side. So can you see you got a page called the Rumor Apocrypha?
Okay. Should I look in the mural or
in the mural? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a tab in the character sheet, but I think it personally it will work easier in the mirror. So I guess the first thing actually we need to do, which I forgot. Let me grab the book because I don't have numbers on the mirror. Yeah, this one, not this one. That's the Italian version. Shameless plug. All right. So Elizabeth, if you will, so the rumor mill that you're going to populate now for everybody's information, it's kind of a big clock, but it's a narrative clock. It's not just ticking the clock. We're also adding stories to this clock, which represent the rumors that are growing, that are brewing within the community, among the villagers and the monks. And these are the sort of things that across a campaign you would try to challenge. Because once the rumor mill is full of those stories, the Papal Inquisition or the Apostolic See are going to show up to work things out. If it's full of virtuous rumors, that means that there's maybe a saint hiding among you, or also is what people believe, or that there's a heretic hiding among you. And your role as Fratres Herodoti will be to prove that, no, that's not the case. Name of the rose time. But the first thing that people are telling around in the area, all of those stories revolve about a mythical figure called the Ancient. Then we're going to find out now who's this Ancient by rolling their name. Would you happen to have a D12 somewhere around? If I was smart, I would have done a 2D6 table, but...
Yes, I do have a D12.
All right, well...
And here it is.
All right, roll it first time.
1. What a roll.
1. Bloody. So and a second time.
Oh, okay. 12.
12. If you could re-roll, I'm not a fan of the 12 in public settings.
6.
6. The Bloody Emperor. Are you happy with the Ancient being called the Bloody Emperor? Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, great. Okay, so now, Elizabeth, your task, as we're doing the scene, is to choose one of the virtuous delusions in the Rumor Apocrypha. So it's the top left of the Rumor Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 of them, and if you wish, you can roll to pick one if you don't know what to choose. But you need to transcribe the text from one of those 8 rumors and replace where it says Ancient by Bloody Emperor. Now, retranscription, it's a hazardous activity. So if you want, you can amend a bit. You might mistranscribe this rumor as you see fit, but try to stick a tiny bit to it. But yeah, you can take that as an opportunity to make it match the mystery a little bit more, or whatever you're inspired with. But yeah, you need to copy that in that block text in the rumor mill just under the Apocrypha.
Oh, okay.
Right, so now that Elizabeth got something to do, The meddling mod. On the 7-9, there's a complication either with the clue itself or an issue you encounter while searching. The counter tells you what the complication is. Does anyone's got a suggest? Well, first thing, I'm gonna give you a clue anyway. Because I said I would. The clue you get is okay. Could you mute yourself, Elizabeth? It's a bit noisy, your keyboard. Thank you. Waldo, well, you will find a bouquet of mountain flowers carefully dried and preserved. I'm going to add it to the clues. There you go. Does anyone's got a complication to suggest? Otherwise, I can come up with something.
I mean,
go ahead.
Like a condition where I feel responsible for this kid seems like something that might make sense.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Awesome. So you, concern about that kid's well-being.
Yeah, concern for the child is what I have here.
Concern for the child.
Can we give that kid a name? Can we just?
Sure. We can call him Toto.
Sorry. Call him what?
Toto.
Toto. Toto.
Toto.
There we go. All right. Yeah.
All right. Let's come back briefly to Curvebird, and then we'll introduce Federico. Curvebird. So, yeah, you've been wandering around a bit. Are you doing anything in particular to sort of investigate this place?
I think I am primarily like, how should I put it? I'm going through his things so casually and confidently while I talk to him that I'm trying to kind of make it seem like it's like something he shouldn't even notice. It's kind of like if you're doing a magic trick, there's a term called patter, where you just kind of like talk to the audience and distract them with your witty banter so that they don't really see the things you're doing with your hands. I'm kind of doing something to that effect where I'm sort of talking to him very casually and keeping his mind occupied. And then I just will like open a drawer or like look under something he has on a table. And I'm basically going through his stuff. So it's a little bit intrusive, but I'm so I think lacking in normal manners that I just kind of get away with it almost. But we'll see.
Oh my god, I love what you did with this granary. Are these rafters originals?
Yeah, like I'm telling stories and stuff about, I remember when this was built. You know, that thing over there, I say, pointing, making him turn his head. That thing over there was originally part of the structure, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. People in those days, they could build none of that prefab crap. Well, wandering around, what you noticed that you did not at first is that there's kindly quite a bit of rudimentary, but still glassware, which is not something you come around that easily in this sort of place and age. The furniture, he's been bringing furniture from somewhere, somehow. It's modest, but it's good stuff. And of course, there's a lot of hanging hams and jars jars with pickled stuff in them. I guess you go as well with the meddling monk move. Do you want to go with presence or more with reasons? Are you outsmarting him, or are you more dazzling him with your snappy comments about the interior?
I'm thinking reason, because there's sort of a method to it that I'm trying to follow.
All right. Are you using any of your giant small things?
Probably not. Yeah, I've got some food items and a rolling pin. No, I'm good for now. But yeah, I'll roll with reason if that works for you. So that would be 2d6 plus
Absolutely, yeah.
1, right? Cool. I'm
Go
just
ahead.
using that witch dice link that we got in the chat. So thank you for posting that. Okay. Whew. Hey, does anybody else in that room?
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey. Okay. I got double sixes.
Oh wow, okay. On a 12 plus, you find a clue. In addition, you find a second clue or disprove a talk of the moment. Oh, okay, interesting. So, so you find 2 clues. I'm gonna fetch you the clues. Oh no, you find 1 clue and you got the option. So, well, it's like a good introduction to Rosewood Abbey. So, Elizabeth is transcribing a talk of the moment in the rumor mill. You can decide with your 12 plus to coming back to the name of the engine. Can we change the name, specifically the objective? Yeah, we can change it. Do you want to roll something else, Elizabeth, or you got a name in mind?
I can roll again. I just typed it. It didn't feel good to me, if that's okay with everyone.
Absolutely fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
let
roll.
me find that die. Do. Oh, boy. One again. Oh my. Okay. Dice. Another 6.
Another 6. The Merry Emperor.
Okay.
You can roll again if you don't
Completely
want. Right?
different. No, I don't want
All right.
to put my thumb on it too much.
So, brother. Sorry, I like using the name of the characters to remember. Brother Berengar is retranscribing a talk of the moment. So, Curvebird, you will have the option of either getting a second clue or disproving this talk of the moment. Mechanically, it has no bearing disproving this talk of the moment because that applies more to campaigns rather than one shot. But it's still a cool scene to say, well, villagers are telling of this weird story. I can tell you it's wrong because X, Y, and Z. So what do you prefer, a second clue or disproving that talk of the moment?
Let's just do a second clue, just because this is a one shot.
Yep. Okay. All right. Do okay. Well, you're gonna find and I'm gonna copy it in the mirror, a half-burnt extract from an alchemical treaty.
Interesting.
Hang on. There you go. So that's, which makes me realize also, we'll just use a complexity. Well, we got 2 sessions, so well, we'll keep the complexity 6 of the mystery just for reference. And the second clue you found, there you go. The second clue you found is okay. You find a depiction of the Pope surrounded by a bear, a bull, and a rooster. And on that, I think, Federico, you approach Barleycorn that you notice from quite far away, and next to it, Waldo, and a young lad mounted on Barleycorn.
Mm-hmm. I think that we see Frederico's POV, and they are, you said this is on the edge of town. So they are through some plants because Frederico is sneaking up behind the granary to shamelessly eavesdrop. Maybe trying to see if there's like a little, a place where it's daub that goes in between planks, right? Has like peeled away, and he can take a little peek in there. Well,
I
Cuthbert
think
is keeping him distracted.
so.
If that makes sense.
The granary is kind of on a slope, so those stilts I described on the front side where you'd be the most noticed, they're quite short, really. It's a couple steps, but more towards the back where you have chances to be left more unseen. Actually, those things start getting quite high. So how do you think you're going to manage to reach to the level of the granary at a level that where you could try to take a peek inside it?
Yeah. I think we said that he's quite tall, so yeah, he's going to try and take a peek, and maybe part of this is moving a rock closer so that he can climb up on it.
Okay, so you start moving rock, maybe piling them in a way which is somewhat precarious, and you start climbing on them and hanging to a ledge of sort, and while looking left and right to find kind of a gap that you can use to spy on whatever is going on inside. So I think that would be a profane move because you're outside of the monastery. When you do something risky or face something you fear while outside the abbey walls, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve. So, Federico, what do you think will happen if you fail in your balance exercise on those stones on the slope of the mountain?
I mean, I think there's two obvious things, but perhaps the most embarrassing one would be getting caught.
Okay. I think you would get caught, and yeah, okay. So you get caught, and the cantor tells you, "Oh, it's worse than you fear." I think as you're doing that, that would make quite a lot of noise. Actually, not only you falling, but those rocks. Also, this little pile of rocks collapsing and rumbling outside. And actually, inside, what's his name? Dario, the butcher, is busy chopping off, carving, demonstrating his skills to Cuthbert. He's chopping off a piece of meat to add to whatever he's selling you, and the noise and surprise from what is going on would distract him, and he would cut one of his fingers off. And you would grant yourself a condition which would be guilty towards Dario.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
All right. Do you want to proceed, or do you want to go through with it? If so, you roll the dice, and I would say it's a where is it?
Probably vitality. I've talked myself into.
Vitality, yes.
Yep. The tallest and least fit of the monks. Well, I think we're all, except for Waldo, not particularly. physically fit. Yeah, and I think that as he is, pushing rocks around, he takes a moment to pull a white cloth out of his robes and daub the sweat out of his eyes, so he'll actually be able to see well once he gets his listening post set up. So I'm gonna mark the white cloth from his joy in small things, and this is just a flat roll. That's a 10.
All right, 10. Great. So on a 10, you do what you intended. You hold steady. You describe what it looks like.
Yeah, I think there's, he's listening carefully when there's like a swell in conversation as Cuthbert's doing his patter, and maybe he's even close enough that like Waldo and the kid are chatting. Actually, it's ideal for him that Waldo is talking with Toto, because now Toto is not wandering around seeing this brother huffing and puffing and moving rocks around, and he stacks them sort of precariously, steps with one foot, it shifts, pauses, steps with the other foot, holding on to the floorboards and slowly pulling himself up so that he can peek through and see what he can see, because I think he suspects that there are quote unquote medical pieces of equipment in here that he would not approve of. Therefore, his bad behavior is totally justified.
So you managed to find a crack between the floor and the wood panels, and actually Dario the butcher is busy shopping a bit a slice of meat. Nothing goes wrong with that, but he's chit-chatting with Cuthbert, and actually is telling, hey, you know what, the villagers, they got such an imagination. I love the stories they tell. And he mentions of an elderly lady in the village what was telling him of this legend. Sorry, Berengar, can you actually, you know that legend because you transcribed it. Can you tell us what this old lady was telling about to the butcher that is now, spreading this rumor, is literally telling what he heard to yet another person?
Oh, this older woman, this crone, is delightedly speaking about the bravery of the Merry Emperor, who found a cave that was isolated, cold, and damp. And while whistling a tune of the most happy melody, one that would cause all to smile and to hum along, entered the cave and did not shiver, only bent down and laid beside a lion who previously had been roaming the wilderness, untamed and wild, but at the sound of this joyful tune offered a paw and a nuzzle of its mane to the beloved Merry Emperor.
Excellent, I love it. All right, Federico, you can roll me a thing, would be with composure, as you're holding on to that ledge. A meddling monk. As the stories goes on, you try to notice something in there that you think out of place.
That's a 9.
Can the story go on?
Yeah, of course, go ahead.
Many have tried to uncover this cave, discover it. They go out listening for the jolly notes amongst the trees, whistling through the leaves, rustling the grass. But they must possess the truest intention, the cleanest conscience, and the devotional fervor required to see the opening where this tune resides, and still a bit of fur from the lion. And if you are indeed fortunate to find the cave, to hear the music, your life will forever be blessed and fortuitous. Could you imagine such a happiness, such a blessing? Could you? Can you? I ask you, imagine. Why not sing a note with me?
Excellent. I love that. We don't have sparks of joy like Finn Paris Gondo, shameless plug. But you like get yourself a couple if we were. So what's your roll?
That was a
Turning
9.
out to be a 9. Okay, 9. 9 on a 7-9, you do it all. No, sorry. On a 7-9, there's a complication either with the clue itself or an issue you encounter while searching. The canter tells you what the complication is. So I'm going to give you another clue. Yeah. Okay. So you try to pick. You do your best. But you get distracted, startled, even as somewhere in the valley, there's the echoing sound of an explosion somewhere in the mountain. As you hear that, it's really the first time you hear of such thing in the region. You lose your balance, and you in the fall, you're gonna hurt your head. I guess. What type of wounds do you want us to have noticed on your character as you were in the cave?
I
That
think
could match a
he's
fall on a pile of rock.
Yeah, I think classic falling, try to catch yourself, sprained, broken wrist. So our good friend Federico is currently one-handed in terms of being able to do tasks, just like the carpenter. This granary is cursed.
All right, you can add that to your conditions that you have a broken or strained wrist of sort. All right. And I think we should close that scene here. There's 40 minutes or so left, including the star wishes and so on. Do you want a break? Do you want a little thing in the cave itself? What do you prefer?
I'm fine to keep playing if everybody's on board.
Yeah, we're close enough to the end that, I mean, I think we probably have time for a short scene and then transition into Stars and Wishes is kind of my thinking.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
great.
Gonna say I want to see a scene with Berenger. That's my desire right now.
All right. Well, I think we come back out of this flashback in the cave, and actually what we see is Federico being caught by the pain, maybe because it's wet and damp and cold certainly doesn't help with your wrist, and yeah, you're hurting in those situations. Do you want to investigate the Hermit's Lair, or do you want or in horarium moment trying to tend your wound with a fellow friar?
I'm happy to put a pin in tending to Federico, because Elizabeth, you're going to be here next week, or I guess 3 weeks.
All right. So you are in the Hermit's Lair. You know all that the Hermit has settled long ago in this cave. In this cave, well, I mean, in the cave in general, but now that you are stuck in there, and he brought you to what is kind of living space, you've noticed in so far as you have explored so far that this was the largest space available in the cave. It's still quite low. You'd say it's smaller than most dwellings in the village, no matter how modest most dwellings are in the village. Normally, the exit's proximity to the outside of that room and the angle of the ceiling would allow the fire of the smoke of a fire to gently float out, but with that exit entrance collapsed at the moment, yeah, the Hermit was right earlier saying that the smoke would probably build up in the room if you were to start a fire. The room is not really furnished, and there's just kind of a alcove of sort where the Hermit apparently laid some hay to use to sleep in. And yeah. What's the latest person that contributed? I think that would be Cuthbert. What in this space makes you in awe of the Hermit's devotion and lifestyle, really? Yeah, you are a monk, you've got a rather frugal lifestyle, but being in this space with this hermit, you quite impress actually by the level of spiritual devotion of the lifestyle he's chosen.
Could he have a rosary that he hand carved from just stuff in the cave?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yes. Yeah, the older hermit is a very emaciated and solemn individual, despite the harshness and the environment. Yeah, apparently, he goes around barefooted, and yeah, I mean, you had the opportunity to talk a bit. Actually, he's really well articulated in his speech, which would contrast quite a bit with his living condition and the sheepskin garbs that he's wearing. I say, I'm so sorry that this happened, and you are stuck with me here, and then I cannot be a better host. But yeah, this my quarters are not meant to welcome such a number of visitors, if any, really. Um, sorry, I wish I had several screens so I can see your character's name. Berenger, what's in the Hermit's lair? Do you notice there's something here that subtly hints that the Hermit had a more glorious past than his current condition?
We see a golden chalice, well worn,
Oh,
but
wow.
finely engraved, and there is an inscription that features a name with royal lineage.
Right. I would say the Emmett's probably noticed that you noticed that thing.
It's dull now, yeah, but Behringer noticed.
Do you remark on it, actually? Do you mention it to the others or ask a question about that?
No, I address what the hermit had said about his humble surroundings, and I say, your devotion to simplicity must bring you great illumination.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, who's to tell, really? I think it brings me mostly comfort, to be honest. Um, uh, but of course, Diogenes used to say that poverty forces us to practice what philosophy hopes to teach us.
You are a scholar.
I'm not such things. Forgive my babbling. I should draw inspiration from some of your fellow monks and take an oath of silence. Maybe that's what I should be doing next for my sins.
I believe, as the scriptures teach us, those who choose to say the least have the most profound teachings.
That's really wise indeed. I saw your question, Federico. Actually, Berenger already shared the story. That's the thing that the butcher was talking about the cave and the lion and the Merry Emperor in it.
Mm. I was thinking of every work of the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very good
I'm not
one,
sure if this
especially.
is quite close enough to trigger, but I feel like it might be.
I mean, yeah, you know, those people I used to play Star Wars and they would just hoard their forced PowerPoints until the end, often when it was too late. So you might as well do it right now. So the every work of the Lord's move is again an adaptation of Brindlewood Bear, except instead of reading murder mystery novels, you read some more distinguished reading from the ancient. I will read the move and I leave to the group to decide if they want to go ahead with it right now or keep it for later. But once per session, any friar can say, "This reminds me of a story recorded in the work of," and complete the sentence with an ancient author's name. Then all the players agree on how something happening in the friar's current situation reminds them of an event told in an ancient story. When constructing this inspirational passage, the player must provide the following information: the name of the ancient author and work in questions, a lesson, problem, or situation the author described that is relevant to the friar's current situation, or how the author suggests applying the lesson, overcoming the problem, and resolving the situation. Do you want to trigger that move? Federico, you seem to be on the yes camp.
Yes.
Berenger, do you want to trigger that move, or you want to sit on it for a little while?
I'm not particularly interested in triggering it, but if others want to do it and we are nearing the end, then yeah, I'm fine with it.
It's fine. It's fine either way. Otherwise, you can look around a little bit more, or depending on what characteristic you want to use. If you want to use just your conversation with the hermit to get a clue, we could do that. Or someone in the background can be peeking around in the dim light of the candle.
I wanted to peek around. I had an idea for what I wanted to try to find.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But if we want to resolve this move first, then let's go ahead and do that.
Oh no, if there's something you want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want to see what Berenger's up to.
I didn't quite catch that.
No, me neither. But tell us,
Oh,
what,
I just
what
said-
are you attempting? All right, it seems that Tia is still among us. So, Berenger, what is Berenger up to?
I'm looking for a dripping. Okay, well, not a cave expert. I'm not sure if it's the stalactite or the stalagmite that's coming from the ceiling, but I'm looking for that kind of a structure dripping, because maybe that could lead to a small crack or passage out of the cave.
Interesting. So you start inspecting the surface of the rocks, more specifically looking around and so on. I would say that would be reason. Please go ahead with the meddling monk move. Do you want to use a joy in small things, or does anyone want to help with the joy in small things? Is this the purpose of the Curse Astrolab to zoom in?
You need stars for an astrolab. Elizabeth, a stalactite has a C in it, so that's the one that comes from the ceiling, and a stalagmite comes from the ground. So that's how I remember it anyway.
Much easier in French, because in
there
French,
you go. Okay.
a stalactite tombe, it falls, and a stalagmite monte, it goes up.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
But-
Okay. All right.
But you need to learn French first, so it's not such a shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for laiton. Dripping. Puissant. No, that's strong. Okay, never mind. I don't think I have anything in my joy in small things. I'm looking very stylish while I search for stalactites, wearing my brooch, but it's just helping me feel good. Not getting any advantage.
You can remove your brooch and desperately start scraping at the stone if you want. Maybe you'll damage it as a result, but yeah.
No, it's far too precious. Okay, I'll roll these physical dice here. 2d6 plus 1. Oh, yay! I rolled a 10 plus 1 is an 11.
Oh wow, amazing.
That's lucky. Yeah.
An 11. You find a clue. The canter tells you what it is, and I got just a clue for that. That's perfect. You find a. Actually, we're gonna just copy a lot of zoom in and zoom out here. Okay, so this clue is a rare, naturally occurring vein of saltpeter within a cave's wall. So, a little bit of context. I think, yeah, I got a footnote somewhere. Where is it? Okay, so if I pronounce that correctly, salpêtre in French, salpeter, I think in English. It's a very interesting component that has multiple applications, including being used as a fertilizer, being a component for glass making, or explosives. It has been used since antiquity for preserving meat through curing, among its many applications. And yeah, it's very rare to find naturally occurring veins of that in caves, but I made my research, and in some Italian cave it happened. It's probably not in the mountain, but please give me that. All right. On that, does anyone want to do something else, or should we close a bit early? It always takes a bit of time to starve wishes and so on.
I have a flashback that I owe you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. So yeah, you are lost in your thought, maybe praying, reminiscing, stuck in this cave, away from Barleycorn, away from Toto. What are you thinking about, Jim?
I'm thinking about kindness and how everyone, including perhaps Cuthbert himself, thought that it was kind of me to offer him a ride to the butcher so that he did not have to, walk himself, when in fact, I just didn't want to have to talk to the butcher. And if there's one thing Cuthbert can be relied upon if you bring him with you, it's that he will talk to whoever is there. And that meant that I could concentrate on my task and I didn't have to, actually make small talk with anyone, which I don't enjoy doing. And so my apparently selfless, act of giving Cuthbert a ride there really was to keep me from having to carry on a conversation with someone.
All right. Anything else want to contribute? So that was the tone of virtue coming back at a reflective moment. Cuthbert, are you up to anything as Berenger is talking with the hermit?
At this point, I don't think, just given kind of where we are on time, there's much that I want to get started on.
All right. Great. Same for you, Federico.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to leave it here for today.
Great. So we're gonna start with the stars and wishes. I will start because I'm really keen on that. But I loved your scenes, Jim, of kindness. That was really a highlight. I mean, there's a bunch. I really enjoyed this session. So thank you so much for that. What's typical in Openhearth? We do all the stars and then all the wishes, or we do stars and wishes? All the stars. All right. Clockwise, Elizabeth. Do you have any star from this session?
I very much enjoyed it. I loved getting started with this game, and I feel that very quickly it produces the ambiance, the setting, and gets me as the player into the framework for being a friar, a brother, and being part of an abbey, and thinking of this medieval setting and what life would be like. And that's a lot of fun, and it was enjoyable to play with everyone. I liked the scene of eavesdropping over the wall, and one of the brothers chit-chatting about all the mundane things. It was a great session overall, very enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That full disclosure, I'm always stressed before running a game, and I was like, oh, with the day I had, I was like, oh, should I cancel and so on. And you're also welcoming and nice. Thank you so much about that, and it's really encouraging me. Going on with all you said, Elizabeth. Thank you so much, David.
Yeah, this game is real cool. I like the clues that you're coming up with, that you're posting kind of on the Miro board. I really like, Jim, the way that you were role playing with the kid earlier in the flashback scene, where you were like showing him barleycorn and asking him, "What is your woe, my child?" I thought that was really well spoken and helped me to really inhabit, I think, the space that we were trying to create. I liked a lot, both Elizabeth and T, the shenanigans you were kind of implementing. T, you kind of doing your balancing act, and Elizabeth, the way that you were interfacing with the other mechanics, where you kind of had to like come up with stuff on the fly, like especially pertaining to the ancient. I thought you had really good ideas with all of that. So yeah, I mean, it was just really fun all around, and I'm looking forward to, I guess, next time on my go.
Awesome. Jim?
Yeah, I wrote a few things down as I want to do. Elizabeth, your ode to virtue that you gave us was you kind of took a breath and Callum started talking. You're like, "Can I finish?" And I'm really glad that you did. Good for you for advocating for yourself to get your whole tale out. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And in terms of setting atmosphere, like, it wasn't necessarily like you weren't kind of telling us how your character talked, but in terms of like how we all think and kind of the way that we think of tales and stuff like that, that was really cool and really kind of mood setting in a way that I really appreciated it, and that was really cool. David, I loved your somebody invoked Columbo before, and that's a thing that Columbo does 100%, where he just wanders around the room, kind of going, "Oh, hey, oh, well, it's it's another thing," and he's like, whatever, like just lifts the lid of your cigar box to look in and see what kind of cigars you have, like that kind of thing. And he's so polite about it that nobody wants to be like, what the F are you doing? And I love that, the way that you kind of presented that, like, like you described it as being like patterns, like you're just kind of keeping them so busy that they're not paying attention, like they're watching your mouth, so they're not seeing what your hands are doing. I really enjoyed that description. T, I wrote down straight up creeping for what your character is doing. Oh, great. And we've all got a personality. You're clearly the one who's like, you're the Snoop of us, is what it sounds like. And like that came across immediately right away, like literally the between the bushes kind of thing that you had going on. And Callum, thank you for organizing all of this for us, as always, for putting these tools together for us to use, which really I'm not a necessarily like, I like a game where I'm a player that has a Miro board. I would never try to run a game where like I was responsible for putting the Miro board together. So, kudos to you, brother, for doing all this work on our behalf when we may or may not use, some or all of it. But it really does, having it in front of us like that really does help to understand, because things can get a little bit complicated with this. There's some procedural stuff with the thorns and all that kind of stuff, but having it all there in front of us, super helpful to keep us to have it, keep it, at least for me, keeping it in my head. So
great. Tia.
Yeah, really enjoyed the session today. I guess star for the system. So that's a star for Callum. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it got the flavor, as other people have mentioned. I do really like the sort of the narrative clock and this tension of trying to shepherd a community that you're not entirely part of. I think that's a very interesting conceit to explore. I really enjoyed Waldo just hefting those hams, right? This big, burly ex-crusader with a huge soft spot for his horsey. What a delight. I also really enjoyed that Berenger went to look for water because I could see, I could see Berenger being a little bit the fancy boy, perhaps not super practical, but no, I think of all of us, perhaps the most practical. I really enjoyed that. But at the same time, not using the pin for anything because it's far too precious, right? So there is still that tension, which I liked. David, again, I also really enjoyed Cuthbert just sort of patter and rummaging. Also, I think it was you who said that we were most suspicious of Dario, and I definitely enjoyed poking that character and rummaging and seeing what was in there. So star for that as well.
Great wishes. My wish is that we could play the next session with the whole cast. I guess it's too much to ask. We won't go into the details. To ask from Elizabeth to postpone whatever is planned the date of the next session. But perhaps we could discuss that offline if we eventually can find another date. So Elizabeth can join quite simply. So that's my wish. Elizabeth.
Caleb, you're my advocate for my wish as well. I would love to join the final session if at all possible, and that would be a lot of fun because this has been a great start, and I want to play more, and I want to play with everyone some more. And I'd like to Berenger would like to go to the contested meadow. What is it called? I had an idea for that location, or it sparked something in me, and I'm curious to have a flashback there. I hope the characters will reminisce in that location and find some clues and free themselves. And I love the rumors. More rumors.
You just need to fail your role or be very keen on increasing the success rate. But you can have a ton of rumors if you want. Just gonna note visit contested. I mean, it's more than likely it will happen. The contested pasture. All right. David?
Yeah, everything that Elizabeth said, and I think this is kind of a wish for myself because I'm going to have to probably take more initiative to make this happen, but I'd like to be able to use my move before we end the series. So I think you said that the Hermit basically counted as nobility for the purposes of the move. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I didn't want to be too. I guess in this session here, I was a bit more heavy-handed than the way I wrote it. But yeah, it's kind of the suspicious aspect of the different suspect that this hermit seems to have some noble demeanor and background. So I think we can easily use that for you, or I'll just have the abbot show up or something.
Yeah. That's fine. Well, at some point, just having an NPC who I can use the move with would be cool. But that's it for me. It's otherwise really, really cool so far.
Yeah, awesome. Jim?
I mean, we've mostly hit on what's going on. I do wish that when we do get together to play again, if our like the pace and everything means that we wouldn't solve it in the traditional way, that we do get a chance to, whatever, half an hour before we're done, go, okay, let's jump to the resolution so that we actually get to, see how it ends. Because there's a possibility we may not accumulate sufficient clues or whatever and stuff like that. But I would like for us to get an ending of some kind, as opposed to realizing at 15 minutes before the hour that we're not going to finish. So just something to keep in mind
You really
when
have
we
a
get
ton.
back together.
You really have a ton of clues. You've got.
I think we've got 5.
You got 6. You got 6 clues. So you're.
What's our complexity?
6. So
okay. Yeah.
So it should
look
be all right.
Yeah, there we go. So hopefully my wish will be totally unnecessary.
It's just a bunch of unnecessary wishes. Go to the contested pasture, of course. Use your friar move, of course. Confabulation move, of course. T. Sorry, by the way, is it T or Tia?
Either's fine. I usually say T, but I know who you mean. Yeah, I'll add another one to the, of course, which is the Aurarium move. That I think we have teed up because my other wish was to get hurt. Check. Got that 7 to 9. And thank you, Callum. I guess star for that. Thank you for entering my monk. It's exactly what I wanted.
All right. Awesome. Do you do taunts also usually at Openhearth? No, you don't do taunts. Okay, great. Amazing. Well, a huge thanks to everyone again. A huge thanks to anyone who went to the trouble of watching this whole video. I think it's a great showcase of the game, so I'm extremely happy. And my plug is that all of that again is available on itch.io under the title Codex Delictorum, which will be a supplement with 6 brand new mysteries, but also advice guidelines based on my experience, which might not be everyone's, but on how to write your own mysteries, including a template, as well as guideline and a structure to play by post this game. Which was written not by me, but a friend called Damoslim, who's got experience in that. I still need to playtest that. So go check Codex Delictorum, and I opened pre-orders for the next reprint. Because quite a while ago I ran out of physical copies at home to sell, so pre-orders are open on the Big Cartel the Rolistes podcast store if you want to pre-order one, which makes things easier with upfront cost for me, and also it should be back in stock at Indie Press Revolution soon. Elizabeth, do you have anything? What's your send-off? Do you have something where you wish to be found online? Do you have anything to plug? No. All right.
I'm a simple person.
No details, but congratulations, and have an absolutely gorgeous, lovely day soon. David?
Oh, yeah, no, I got nothing. Come play on Openhearth.
Come play on Openhearth. Jim, the same?
I'm Jim Likes Games, just like it sounds, on Discord. I've got an itch page where I've got some mostly Cart from Brindlewood stuff and a Cart from Brindlewood game called X Capes, which is about semi-retired superheroes getting dragged back into superhero life. Also, everybody should take a look at Callum's super fun game about keeping your fantasy inventory. Which do you still call it Paris Gondo? It used to be called.
No,
Paris
we
Gondo?
stopped calling it
right,
Paris Gondo for commercial reason. It's just
Magic of Inventorying, I think it is. Yes, but everybody should check that out too.
It's on Kickstarter. Late pledges are available, and we're progressing with the fulfillment. Sign up there for. I think it's produced by a fellow publisher from Italy, and they're doing a great. I mean, go check the website, Magic of Inventorying. You see it looks gorgeous with original artworks from Buddy Hartley from Slow Quest. Any winner, Buddy Hartley. T.
I'm gonna say don't just come play on the Openhearth, but come request games. We have a games request channel, and if you make a post, there's a pretty good track record of somebody stepping up to run things. So come on in, the water's fine.
I need to do more of that. Also, the big star for me was how fast this game was full. When I struggled so much to get players for tables in other circumstances. I need to be there more often on Openhearth. It's absolutely great and lovely. I will include a link in the description of this episode. Come come join. It's a blast, a delight. It's amazing. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.